I'm joined by Phesheya Dube. He is part of the Swaziland delegation that is here at the summit. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Can we go back in time and perhaps look at the year that was? What were some of the highlights for Swaziland?
Yeah, thank you very much, Patricia, and thank you very much for the opportunity. As Swaziland, I think we learned a lot. I will talk specifically on the media front because that's the space that I'm currently managing. Okay, first of all, as SADC, we were able to get twice as many of the entries in the media competition. You know, SADC runs a media competition yearly, both the schools and the media. And this time we had more entries than before. I think we had doubled the number of entries that we normally receive. We were also able to increase the prize money, and I'm happy to report that Council has agreed to increase the current prize money from $2,000 in each category to 2,500. And the runners-up now will also be getting something. Remember, in the previous competitions, the runners-up didn't get anything, so they will be able to get something like $1,000, which is an achievement during my time in office. The other big achievement would be the operationalization of the communication strategy. You know, a couple of years ago, SADC began to craft a communication strategy, and in the last summit, which was held in Swaziland, that communication strategy was again approved by Council as well as the summit. That's a big achievement. And in our last RAC meeting, the Regional Adjudication Committee, we're also looking at operationalization now of the communication strategy. We're looking at a situation where it will be launched, particularly to the Ministers of Information. That also marked the highlights, particularly in the media front. You'll also remember, Patricia, that Swaziland also hosted two summits. It was the summit in August as well as the extraordinary summit in March, if I'm not mistaken. Now, hosting the summit comes with a number of challenges. It's a very huge task. And for a country like Swaziland, which doesn't have abundance in terms of resources, it was even a mammoth task. With the assistance, of course, of SABC, I'm happy to say that we were able to broadcast the official opening of the summit, the August summit, to all 15 countries, which was a big achievement. We obviously had to engage multi-choice just to ensure that in terms of transmission of the picture to the other countries, we use their systems. I would say so far that is what we achieved as Swaziland. And let me also congratulate South Africa, our counterparts in South Africa. We have already handed the baton. The summit marks the official beginning of the marathon for South Africa, and as Swaziland, we are stepping down. We'll also be there because the structure of management as far as SADC is concerned is that as an outgoing chairperson, you still remain until the next one, until the cycle again picks up the other one, and then you automatically goes off the radar.
Okay, and lastly, a lot of challenges in SADC, from the economy, the weather, the people on the ground, political stability and so forth. The protests that took place outside the summit, where we saw a lot of residents or citizens from the region here to express their concern on particular issues, even people from your country who were outside Derco. There was even tension with police as, of course, they tried to express their unhappiness. It seems like there's still a lot of issues that are crippling the body, making its task even heavier perhaps as we enter another year.
Yeah, definitely there are challenges in so many fronts. Particularly what was dealt with or what has been reported officially is the challenges in Lesotho as well as the DRC. I hope the region can always find itself somewhere, somehow, to actually talk to each other, to actually try and solve whatever issues is there, amicably, because there has to be that amicable way to try and resolve problems. Otherwise, Africa and the Southern African region has got problems. We've got problems with sufficiency in terms of food, in terms of other materials. So I hope such forums such as SADC provides that space, and I hope countries of Southern Africa can capitalize on that.
Part of those issues always refers back to peace and security, which, if not managed properly, leads to political instability. We can refer back to the DRC and Lesotho, which, of course, two countries top of the agenda here at this summit. If you can just briefly maybe tell us, if you could give advice to the leaders, what is perhaps the most important thing to try and solve such problems in the region?
I think first and foremost is to fix the politics. I think without political stability, there would be no development. That's as far as I'm concerned. I think the Southern African countries, particularly these two countries, have to come down, find their own home-brewed solution to all the problems, because there's no one solution for all the countries. There's no template for even democracy. There's no one solution for these countries. People have to come down as a unit, sit down, try and solve their own problems amicably.
All right, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your thoughts with us there. Mr. Phesheya Dube, all the way from Swaziland, he is part of the delegation here at the 37th SADC Summit. Of course, here from the SABC side, we continue to bring you blow-by-blow coverage of what is happening here at DIRCO in Pretoria, as we officially entered the second last session. For the rest of the afternoon, the leaders that are here will be in closed sessions. Of course, you would know throughout the week, the ministers that were gathered here were busy with a lot of issues that they discussed, and they compiled a draft report that will be presented to the heads of states, who of course joined the summit officially today. So for the rest of the afternoon, they'll be looking at that draft report, and tomorrow we will come back to get the conclusions in terms of what the heads of states have decided on the resolutions that have been adopted by the ministers here at the SADC summit. For now, let's toss it back to studio.